Hello, everybody. This is Dr. David Jockers, and today I'm talking about the top keto supplements to support fat burning. And so when we look at nutritional success on a ketogenic diet, I really think 80 to 90% of it is based on your diet and your lifestyle, how you control stress, how you sleep, your exercise levels, and of course, really staying compliant with a ketogenic diet that fits for your body type. And I think that's 80 to 90%. I think supplements can help you up to 20%. So I'm sure some of you guys listening are going to be like, oh, is he just trying to promote supplements? No, I'm not. I think supplements can really be a helpful tool. I personally use supplements on a regular basis. My family uses supplements. But again, diet and lifestyle, that's 80 and in many cases 90% of your results are going to be based on the diet and the lifestyle. However, you can get additional benefits from basically bringing in the right supplements that are going to meet your needs and meet your or basically help push you towards your health goals. And so the key supplements I'm going to talk about here: MCT oil, keto protein powders, SCT oil, exogenous ketones, adaptogenic herbs, digestive support supplements, thyroid support supplements, and mitochondrial support supplements. So bear with me, this presentation, I'm going to try to go through all of this, but I also do have a great article that goes with this video. So it's there's a link below this video, so be sure to check that out so you can get more information. Now, ways to increase ketone production. Fasting. I'm a huge advocate of intermittent and also extended fasts. So as I am doing this video, I only ate one meal the last 2 days. So it was basically 24-hour fasts, which is a great intermittent fasting strategy, 1 meal a day or OMAD. And that's a great way to boost up your ketones because your body doesn't have, it doesn't have a consistent source of glucose. So it starts breaking down your own body fat to produce ketones. Like obviously a ketogenic diet, well-formulated ketogenic diet, I have a lot of videos on this. High intensity exercise. So I'm actually going to work out after this video, and I'll probably be around 12 o'clock my time when I do that. And I haven't eaten since I think I finished, our meal yesterday, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock. So 20 plus hour fast and then doing a high intensity workout, that's going to really help my body stimulate ketone production. Coffee or caffeine actually can help drive up the AMPK pathway, which is basically an energetic stress pathway that then the body goes into and says, okay, I need to create more energy, but I don't have fuel reserves, so I need to go into the fat. So I'll start breaking down this fat and creating ketones. So that's basically what happens. MCT oil and exogenous ketones can also be very, very helpful here. And so let's start with MCT oil. And so we look at the ketones here in this image at the top: acetone, acetoacetic acid, and then beta-hydroxybutyrate acid, which is not technically a ketone, but it's an ester, but that we mainly are testing in our blood. The acetone is what we breathe out. So if you're using a ketonics or a level machine to test your ketone levels, it's the acetone you're looking at. And then the acetoacetic acid is urine. So if you're using urine strips. So when we look at your MCTs, we know that basically these are fats that are going to be between 8 and 12 carbon chains in length. Okay. And your capric and your caprylic, you're basically 8 and 10 carbon chain fats. These ones are the most ketogenic. Lauric acid is not as ketogenic, doesn't turn into ketones as quickly, does need bile emulsification and lipase in order to break down. So it doesn't get absorbed as quickly as these other fatty acids. So coconut oil is, basically 50% lauric acid. So although coconut oil or coconuts in general are the top food for medium chain fatty acids, they contain more of these than any other food. It's still not a purified source of MCTs. So I do recommend consuming coconuts and coconut fat, coconut milk, and coconut butter and coconut flakes and things like that. And if you look at the recipes on my website, you'll see tons and tons of recipes using coconut. However, it's not going to be as ketogenic or boost up ketones as quickly as an MCT oil that's concentrated to where you have the 8 and 10 carbon chain fats like caprylic acid. And that's where you can get, you know, just a purified MCT oil, which has been shown to help lower your blood sugar, increase nutrient absorption. It acts as a natural anticonvulsive, really good. You know, in fact, there's an MCT oil diet, really good for kids with seizures, for example, people with epilepsy and different types of seizures, really good for that. But you can also add in MCT oils to help with fat burning, to improve your athletic performance, great for energy, great for controlling appetite, because ketones are very satiating, so that they provide this remarkable satiation, which makes you just not feel as hungry and not needing to snack and overeat and things like that. So MCT oil can be a really, really great thing to use on a ketogenic diet. It's one of the things that people really start with when they start looking at supplements to support their ketogenic diet, is using some sort of MCT oil. And you can also get really good bone broth proteins. I'm a huge fan of some sort of a collagen or bone broth protein. The reason why is that in our society, we're eating a lot of muscle meats, and muscle meats have certain amino acids like tryptophan and methionine in them, but they don't have as much of other amino acids like glycine and proline. And so we eat too much muscle meats compared to organ meats and connective tissue meats. We end up basically creating an imbalance in these amino acids, which promotes inflammation. Our ancestors ate a lot of connective tissue. They ate a lot of organ meats, right? And so they ate the collagenous parts of animal products. In today's society, we really don't favor those. Most people are just never eating them. And so we can actually support our system with, something like these protein powders. So I use this keto maple protein powder. It's caffeine free right there at the top, pretty much almost every day. And I make a big keto shake with avocados in there and some raw grass-fed milk or coconut milk in there. And this actually has MCT oils in it. It also has adaptogenic herbs. It has digestive support nutrients. So that's why I really, really like it. And it's not like super high in protein. So it's 15 grams in a scoop. I usually use 2 scoops when I'm making my shake, but it's got a lot of MCTs, right, to support ketone production. It's got the collagen protein. Now, the chocolate, I will tell you, tastes absolutely incredible. But it also does have some caffeine in it. They have coffee bean extract, which, can obviously support your energy and your ketone production. But, sometimes I don't always want that. So mostly using the maple, which is caffeine free, but the chocolate is incredible. And sometimes I will use that. It tastes amazing. But these are great protein powders. Again, even though we're talking about supplements in this presentation, you don't absolutely need any of these supplements, but they can really support your journey. And these are great ones to be utilizing. Now, MCT oil, how do we kind of dose it properly? This is important to understand, okay? So if you take too much MCT oil too quickly, you definitely can get digestive cramping and diarrhea. So for non-sensitive people, so some people are more sensitive than others, you'll know you're sensitive because you're sensitive to other things, right? So you're like, you know that you react to certain foods, or when you consume something new, you tend to have more digestive complaints. That's a sensitive person, okay? Non-sensitive person is somebody that just doesn't typically, notice any difference with food or trying new things. So if you're non-sensitive, you begin with just 1 teaspoon daily for the first week. If you feel fine with this, then add in a teaspoon each week until you either have GI issues or you find a good zone. Typically, 2 to 4 teaspoons per day is great and will really help fuel your keto journey. So that's really what you're looking for. Sensitive people, you just begin with a half a teaspoon, all right, and see, what you notice for the first week, okay? So if you're able to tolerate a half teaspoon, great. Then you can add another half teaspoon. So go up to 1 teaspoon after the first week, okay, until, again, you get into that comfortable range that works for your body. Now, SCP oil, this is a newer product, short-chain triglyceride oil, which also has conjugated linoleic acid, also provides butyrate, which butyrate is a short-chain triglyceride. And so basically, short-chain fats are fats between 2 and 6 carbon chains. Okay, so we talked about how the 8 and the 10 and the 12 were the MCTs, 2 and 6 are going to be the SCTs. Okay, and so this helps to lower inflammation, improves fat burning, very easy on the body, a lot of same benefits as MCT oil. Difference here is SCT oil, both of them are highly ketogenic. Okay, SCT oil is made from grass-fed butter, so they concentrate the short-chain fats from the butter, okay, and it's in more of a buttery type of form rather than an oil or a powder, which is what MCT oil comes in. It's either oil form, liquid form, or a powder form. And SCT oil also has fat-soluble vitamins, whereas MCT does not. So fat-soluble vitamins are going to be things like vitamin A, particularly fat-soluble retinol, which we find in things like egg yolk, grass-fed butter, stuff like that. But we really don't find that in carrots. Carrots have a precursor called beta-carotene, but our best form of vitamin A is actually the fat-soluble form that we find in liver or cod liver oil, so different organ meats, egg yolk, grass-fed butter, for example, real concentrated forms of vitamin A. Vitamin D is in this. You have vitamin E and you have vitamin K too. So real powerful nutrients. Also contains a lot of minerals. No minerals in MCT oil. So a lot of people like the SCT oil better than the MCT because of those additional benefits. And you can certainly cook with this oil. You can use it in replacement of butter or ghee. Okay, and it's concentrated to where it doesn't have the casein or the whey. So if you have a dairy sensitivity, you should do fine with the SCT oil. And so, because it's, again, concentrated, doesn't have the inflammatory proteins or the lactose that a lot of people react negatively to. You can put this in smoothies. I don't prefer it in smoothies. You can put it in coffee, instead of grass-fed butter. You can put it in your bone broth. Can work really well in bone broth. So I basically, the way I use it is typically to put it on, melt it into steamed vegetables. So if I make a bunch of broccoli or cauliflower, melting it in there is great, and that's how I'll typically use it. Now, exogenous ketones. Okay, a lot of controversy on exogenous ketones in the ketone world. Okay, well, what do they do? Let's start with that. Well, they're going to teach the body how to keto adapt. So when we have these ketones that mimic our body's beta-hydroxybutyrate, it starts telling the body, hey, there's an additional fuel source available. Let's start to upregulate certain enzymes and cofactors that allow us to use this for energy. So just the presence of ketones is going to help your body move into a process where it's more keto adapted. It also can slightly lower your blood sugar, and it does lower your insulin levels too. And that's important to understand because a lot of people are trying to apply ketogenic principles, but just due to a wide variety of different underlying issues, they have higher insulin. So taking some exogenous ketones can actually help lower down that insulin, which is going to help their body actually break down its own body fat, because your body, as long as insulin's elevated, you're not going to be able to produce ketones at a really high level. So it's important to get that insulin down. And they can just give you an energy boost, really, almost any time, a mental boost, okay, and also satiety. So, reducing cravings and things like that, which can be really, really important, especially as people first get started with a ketogenic approach. Now, there's a lot of myths out there about exogenous ketones. One myth is they block your ability to produce ketones. A lot of people think that if you take ketones, you can't produce your own ketones. That's not true. They actually help teach the body to better use ketones produced from body fat and dietary fat as its main fuel source. Now, if you're just chugging ketones all day long, sure, your body's going to use those ketones before it gets into its own body fat to produce that. So it's this oxidative priority. It's going to use the ketones we're taking in, from the supplement before our own body fat. But if you just use it once, per day, let's say, then it's going to teach the body, especially in early stages when you're first trying to get keto adapted, that we can use these ketones for fuel. We'll use these and we'll upregulate certain enzymatic pathways so we can be better at using these ketones. So we're teaching the body to use it. It's like riding your bike on training wheels, okay? So if you're just trying a ketogenic diet, it's like, expecting your child to just start riding their bike all of a sudden. It can be uncomfortable. They can fall a lot, maybe eventually they'll learn, but it can be challenging along the way, as opposed to if you put them on training wheels and got them started there. And once they got confident with that, then took the training wheels away, and their body was, in a sense, if your body can, now it's got the metabolic machinery to use these ketones for, to break down our own body fat, to use to form it into ketones and use it for energy. So that's myth number one. Myth number two is that ketones allow you to eat whatever you want and you'll still be in ketosis. And by definition, that is true, because nutritional ketosis is simply having your ketones above 0.5 millimoles per liter. So by definition, myth number two is true, but you're really not going to get the benefits, because if you're consuming a high carbohydrate diet, you're still going to have elevated blood sugar and elevated insulin, which is going to promote inflammation in your body. And the ketones can like slightly buffer some of that, but the reality is you're still going to degenerate at a high clip. So you're not going to get the benefits if you're doing this, if you're eating, pumpkin pie and ice cream all day and, candy bars all day long, and you are just taking ketones expecting that that's going to solve your problems. Not true. Okay. You need the diet. I started this whole presentation saying 80 to 90% of your results on a ketogenic diet are based on your diet and your lifestyle, right? That's what it's all about. Ketones or any sort of supplement can only provide about 10 to 20% of the benefits, or basically 10 to 20% push towards your health goals. But that can be important, for many of us. That's worth it. So why take exogenous ketones? Again, fat loss really helps improve your body's ability to burn fat, can help you with physical performance, so helping you just work out at a higher intensity. You don't need as much oxygen working out at those intensities. You feel better, you feel stronger, really good for mental function, performances, things like that. And then also they can also help with just longevity. Having a good amount of ketones in your system can be really, really helpful for longevity in general. Now, if you're getting an exogenous ketone product, this is important. You want to make sure you're getting a BHB salt solution. So you've got basically beta-hydroxybutyrate attached to different salts: magnesium, calcium, sodium, okay, potassium, things like that. So you get the salt solution. You could just do it just straight BHB salts, but you'll see the green curve there. It gets high quickly, but then it drops down faster, okay? You can do a BHB with MCT, and you'll see, okay, you get the best rise, and at the same time, it stays higher longer. That's important, okay? And then, of course, you can do MCT oil, and you get a rise, okay, but not as high as the ketones, and then it drops down pretty quickly. So it's important to understand here, because, obviously we want to get the best rise and prolonged rise. So this is saying that BHBs with MCT oil is going to give us the best rise here. So when to consume it, again, as a pre-workout. You can also consume it when fasting to help with, just prolonging your fast at times, especially when you're new to it. You can do it in the morning for increased energy and mental clarity. A lot of people will do that and replace breakfast with exogenous ketone MCT oil powder supplement before stressful activity. Can be really powerful before stressful activity, like a presentation, for example, or if you're in school, a test. Can really help your performance mentally, physically, right, emotionally. It can really help you. And then you certainly can take it, again, we went back to that myth, but you can take it with a higher carbohydrate meal to maintain blood ketone levels, okay, and it will help to reduce the amount of insulin and reduce your blood sugar. So it can be helpful to use if you're cycling out of ketosis. But again, eating a high carbohydrate meals in general, just doing that all the time is not going to get you the results of ketosis. So just important to remember that. My favorite ketone supplement is Keto Edge that I personally formulated. This also has the advantage of having powerful adaptogenic mushrooms, cordyceps, reishi, lion's mane, which is really good for the brain. It's got a number of different 6 powerful adaptogenic mushroom compounds in there to help you, as well as the exogenous ketones, got the MCTs to get the best boost and maintaining that rise. It also has branched chain amino acids, really, really good for pre-workout. It's pretty much when I use this, really, I see huge improvements with strength, with the amount of oxygen that I need, doing a ketogenic diet and lifestyle, intermittent fasting, as well as using that product. And so adaptogens, I started talking about that, things like reishi mushroom, cordyceps, right? These are powerful herbs or mushrooms that allow our body to adapt to stress with more resiliency. Like we feel stronger through stress taking these, as opposed to our body being overwhelmed by stress. So you have things like ginseng, rhodiola, holy basil, and ashwagandha. I'm a huge fan, and I use these on a regular basis. In fact, that keto protein powder that I talked about has ashwagandha in it, has reishi in it. The Keto Edge that I was just talking about has reishi, lion's mane, cordyceps. It has king trumpet. It has shiitake, and something else that I'm forgetting. But it's got powerful mushroom compounds that will support your body. So I definitely recommend using those on a ketogenic diet and lifestyle to help support you and get that extra 10 to 20%. Now, electrolytes can also be powerful. And really the reason why electrolytes are so important is that when we're on a low carb diet, we actually decrease, our insulin goes down. And insulin's job is to hold on to electrolytes, particularly sodium. It's one of its key things that it does is it creates more retention in sodium. And when you retain sodium, you retain water. And so when insulin goes down, you're going to lose sodium, you're going to lose water, and you can easily get electrolyte deficient. So it's important that we are taking electrolytes. Now, personally, I recommend just getting these from foods. So I don't think we necessarily need to supplement with electrolytes as much as we need to eat electrolyte-rich foods, trace mineral-rich foods when we are eating food. Here are the best. Sea vegetables, so like seaweeds and kelp and things like that. Really great. Very rich in trace minerals. Wild-caught fish, so wild-caught sockeye salmon, sardines, different things like that can be really powerful. Fermented foods, kimchi, sauerkraut, pickles, really good for this. Dark green leafy vegetables, avocados, pasture-raised eggs, pink salt, so like Himalayan sea salt, Redmond's real salt, really rich in trace minerals. Broths, so bone broth or vegetable broths can be really good. Olives are very rich in trace minerals, and we always talk about the benefits of olive oil, the polyphenolic compounds in there. But olives are really, really great fruit for the body. And a lot of people say or think on a ketogenic diet we can't eat any fruit, but actually avocado is a fruit, olives are a fruit, lemons and limes are a fruit. These are all very ketogenic foods. Grass-fed butter or ghee and grass-fed meats. So if we're consuming these throughout the day, or when we are consuming meals and salting our foods to taste, we should be able to provide the electrolytes that we need. In some cases, we certainly at times, extra magnesium, maybe extra potassium can be helpful. But in general, we should be getting a lot of this stuff from these foods here. Now, this slide's probably a little harder to see, and it's very in-depth, okay? But the article that goes with this video kind of walks you through how to improve your digestive health. And so, we have digestive dysfunction. You may have low stomach acid. You may have poor bile flow. You may have poor digestive enzyme activity. And so, definitely check out the article that goes with this video, because I kind of walk you through how to know what is going on, what sort of like home tests you can do, and then what lab tests will help determine what you need. Do you need more stomach acid? Do you need more digestive enzymes? Do you need more bile? It's going to help walk you through that. It's going to help walk you through, lifestyle strategies to help support that. Okay. Now, digestive enzymes, something I take every day. I think digestive enzymes are just, really helpful because digestion itself is a very stressful activity. And the more stress we can take off the gut, the better our body is itself at producing digestive enzymes and stomach acid and things like that. And a myth is that if we take digestive enzymes, our body will stop producing its own digestive enzymes. And that's definitely not true at all. In fact, taking digestive enzymes helps your body produce its own digestive enzymes. The reason why is it takes stress off the digestive system. Stress is the antagonist to good digestion. The less stressed you are when you eat, the better you're going to be able to produce digestive enzymes, stomach acid, and bile. And so digestive enzymes help move the meter. They help to reduce the amount of stress on your gut, so you're going to be able to digest your food better. Very anti-inflammatory. Okay, they're very good for helping you absorb nutrients more effectively, supporting your microbiome. Okay, so helping reduce food sensitivities and allergies and all these types of things. So huge fan of enzymes, and then also doing things to help support your stomach acid levels. You know, I'm a big fan of doing liquid nutrition. So intermittent fasting is powerful. And then also, like for me personally, the days when I'm eating 2 meals, one of those meals is a big keto protein shake. Okay, and so I use my keto protein powder. I was talking about this earlier, avocados, maybe some coconut milk or grass-fed raw milk or something along those lines. And that's just easy because the blender has done the digestive. It's done the digestion. It's broken it down. It's easier on my system, so less stress. And again, the less stress in your gut, the better you're going to have, the better you're going to digest. You can also use herbs like ginger is really powerful, peppermint, things like that. Okay, so these carminative herbs, lemon, apple cider vinegar, limes are good too. You put it in water, put them on food. This one most people don't really know as much about. Super hydrating outside of meals, but drinking very little with meals. You don't want to consume a lot of water with meals because it will dilute your digestive juices. Okay, so you don't want that. You want your stomach to get a really strong pH. You know, it needs to drop from about 3.5 at rest on the pH scale to between 1.5 and 2.2. You got to produce a lot of acid to really break down meat effectively. So if you're drinking a lot of water with that, you're going to dilute it because water is more like a 7.0 pH. So you're going to dilute your acid and you're not going to digest your meal as well. Hold off on water after a meal. So don't drink much for at least an hour after your meal. Then after that, you start to hydrate your body well. So once the food moves through your stomach and the first part of your small intestine, it's really where you produce the massive amount of digestive enzymes and bile. Now you can start hitting the water, okay? So usually it takes about an hour, big meal, maybe 90 minutes, okay? Now you can start hydrating well. Now, eating protein foods at the beginning of the meal. So if you have meat and vegetables, a lot of people think eat the vegetables first, but actually you want to eat the meat first because the meat then will get to the bottom of the stomach, okay? And if you think about gravity, the bottom of the stomach is where the body's going to produce this acid. It's going to concentrate more towards the bottom. So you want that, okay? That's actually going to, the meat's going to spend more time bathing in the acid. We need more acid for the meat than we do for the vegetables, of course. So it's going to help that. Now, using fermented veggies, okay, sauerkraut, right, things like that, pickles can really support good stomach acid production. Using fermented drinks, so coconut water kefir or kombucha, you know, not too much because they do have some sugar in them. But apple cider vinegar, for example, a good fermented drink that you can use. Cabbage juice, things like that can help support stomach acid. And then eating your largest meal when you're most relaxed. So we talked about how stress is the antagonist to good digestion. So this is going to really help your body produce the right amount of stomach acid, the right amount of bile, the right amount of digestive enzymes. So very important to do that. Now, next thing I wanted to discuss was thyroid. Okay, I see this all the time. A lot of people, in fact, thyroid issues are the most underdiagnosed condition for adults, particularly adult women. And so if you have unexplained weight gain, if you're having menstrual fertility problems, dry and flaky skin, if you're tired, fatigued, you have muscle soreness and pain, poor concentration and memory, constipation also is not listed here, and then high cholesterol levels, oftentimes it's actually a underlying thyroid issue that has gone undiagnosed, okay? And so you can get the right testing. Most clinical doctors are not doing it, but you can find functional medicine clinicians that will run the right thyroid testing to really find if this is a root cause of any of those problems that you may be having. You know, if you can't find somebody in your area, or if you'd like to work with my team, we do offer the complete thyroid report, which is exactly what you need. Here are the key labs that myself and my team look at with clients to help analyze their thyroid function. We're going to look at their free components as well as their bound components of thyroid hormone. We're going to look at their antibodies. We're going to look at reverse T3, which is an inactive form of T3. We're going to look at thyroid binding globulin. We're going to look at your vitamin D levels, which is very important for this. We're going to look at your complete blood count, liver enzymes, full chemistry test. We're going to look at homocysteine, which is a good measure of methylation. We're going to look at inflammation, such as C-reactive protein, high sensitivity panel, iron panel, ferritin, magnesium levels, B12, fasting insulin. So this test really, really helps us understand if you do have a thyroid issue or not. And if you do, you can support it. You can support it with a thyroid medication or a thyroid bioidentical like Armour thyroid or Nature thyroid. And we also use one that's made from bovine, so grass-fed cows as opposed to pig, which is what the Armour or the Nature thyroid's using, porcine or pig. And so we use the bovine, the cow form glandular in this, as well as supportive nutrients like iodine and selenium and different herbs that are really supportive for T4, T3 production and utilization and conversion. So T4 is the inactive form of thyroid hormone, has to convert to active T3. This product helps with production of enough thyroid hormone and then conversion into the active form of thyroid hormone to be used by the body. So thyroid strong, really helpful. And then I wanted to finish up with just mitochondrial dysfunction, because the mitochondria is what really, that's where we produce the energy. This is where we burn the ketones and produce cellular energy. And so mitochondrial dysfunction, when the mitochondria within each cell get damaged, this is linked with all these different issues: developmental delays, autism, cerebral palsy, Parkinson's, epilepsy, cardiomyopathy, muscular dystrophy, learning disabilities, Lou Gehrig's, fibromyalgia, Alzheimer's, right? So all these different conditions that we see happening in our society related to mitochondrial dysfunction, heart disease, diabetes, neurodegenerative conditions in the brain, and actually cancer as well. It's not listed here, but cancer is a metabolic disease classified with mitochondrial dysfunction as well. So we definitely want to support our mitochondria. We want them to be functioning properly. So from a nutritional perspective, in general, ketogenic diet, healthy lifestyle, and incorporating intermittent and sometimes extended fasting is one of the best things you can do for your mitochondria, because it stimulates something called mitophagy, where the body breaks down these older, damaged mitochondria and forms new, healthy mitochondria. But here are powerful nutrients to support your mitochondria: alpha lipoic acid, omega-3s, glucosamine, N-acetylcysteine to help boost up glutathione, creatine. Creatine has like a bad connotation for a lot of people because it's used for building muscle. I use creatine for muscle building, but also to support my mitochondria, my ability to produce energy, cellular energy. Creatine can be powerful for that. Resveratrol, quercetin, green tea, NAD, really powerful. Acetyl L-carnitine and coenzyme Q10. So really, really powerful stuff here to help support the body. And so we actually even created a supplement that has all these things in it. It's called Mito Support. So when we see people with mitochondrial dysfunction, we put them on the Mito Support, provide all these key nutrients that they need, right, to support their body. And obviously it's going to play a role with their brain, their cardiovascular health, and cellular energy production. So that's a powerful supplement as well. So I talked about a lot of stuff today, guys. I want to go back to just, the beginning of this presentation here real quick for you guys. Some of you guys probably jumped on late or missed this. But what I was saying is that basically a keto, to hit your health goals, it's going to be 80 to 90% diet and lifestyle. Supplements are going to be up to 20%, okay? And that can make a big difference. For me, supplements play a huge role in my overall health. I do diet, lifestyle, and supplements so I can perform at my best. So I can be the best father, the best husband, the best doctor, the best business owner, the best human being that I can possibly be. So, if you want to take your game to the next level, pick one or two of these things, right? Read the article that goes along with this and find the supplements that you feel like is going to, that you want to try first at least, and see if they move the needle for you. Good supplements, you should be able to feel the difference. And that if you can, that's going to really be a needle mover for you. So hopefully this is a good presentation that you guys enjoyed it and got a lot out of it. Be sure to check out the article that goes with it so you can get a more detailed explanation and really understand this further. Guys, have a great day. Be blessed, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.